What kind of person builds a fake police checkpoint in their neighbor's driveway, demanding IDs and threatening to block your way home? That's the question Lena Harper kept asking herself, her mind reeling, as she stood on her porch, staring at the orange cones and hand-painted signs that had turned her quiet new life into a battlefield. At 41, Lena had scraped together every penny to buy a small house on the edge of a sleepy, semi-rural town, tucked at the end of a winding gravel driveway shared with 2 other homes. Surrounded by pines and oaks, the place felt like a secret haven, a chance to escape the grind of her boat motor repair shop and the noise of her old city life. Mornings brought deer gliding through the mist, evenings hummed with cicadas, and for a fleeting moment, Lena thought she'd found paradise. But paradise? It's never as perfect as it seems. It started small, almost laughable. A week after moving in, as Lena hauled groceries from her truck, a woman stomped up, her neon vest so bright it hurt to look at. Broad-shouldered, heavy-set, she carried herself like she owned the ground beneath her feet. "I'm Brenda Walsh," she announced, her voice sharp but coated in fake sugar. "Community safety volunteer. Appointed by concerned residents to manage traffic around here." Lena's gut twitched. Something about Brenda's self-important strut screamed trouble. Brenda thrust a crumpled pamphlet at her, listing bizarre rules, mandatory vehicle checks, ID scans at the driveway's entrance, delivery curfews after 8 p.m. Lena skimmed it, handed it back, and said nothing, figuring Brenda was just a bored busybody playing cop. Brenda nodded, as if she'd won something, and shuffled off. Lena laughed it off that night, chalking it up to small-town weirdness. But 2 mornings later she slammed on her brakes at the sight of orange cones and plastic chains strung across the driveway, a crooked sign reading, "Safety checkpoint, residents only." There, standing like a general, was Brenda, clipboard in hand, while viewing down cars with a glee that made Lena's skin crawl. She motioned for Lena to roll down her window, demanding proof of residency with a grin that screamed control freak. Stunned by the absurdity, Lena reversed her truck, took a bumpy side route through the grass, and got home without a word. She wasn't about to play along with this nonsense, but the encounter left a bitter taste, like swallowing a truth you'd rather ignore. Over the next few days, Brenda's checkpoint grew. Homemade forms appeared, demanding signatures. A flickering yellow lamp, rigged to a frayed cord, mimicked a traffic light. Brenda even roped in a few retirees, who lounged in lawn chairs, sipping iced tea and jotting down license plates like they were in a spy movie. Lena kept her distance, snapping discreet photos, logging dates and times, building a file. She wasn't planning to sue out yet, but she knew people like Brenda didn't back off when ignored. They pushed harder. And push Brenda did. Soon, Lena's mailbox was stuffed with violations, accusing her of reckless driving or defying community authority. The notes were laughable, but their audacity was chilling. Brenda wasn't pretending anymore. She believed she could rule because no one had stopped her. Lena considered confronting her but decided against it. Shouting at a wannabe dictator wouldn't fix this. Instead, she filed complaints with the sheriff and the county, citing blocked access and fake authority. She knew paper trails mattered when things got messy, and messy was exactly where this was headed. One Saturday, Lena woke to hammering. Peering out her window, she saw Brenda and 203, a scrawny guy with a potbelly and a woman in gardening gloves building a barricade of cinder blocks and 2x4s, bolted into the asphalt. A new sign screamed, "Community Security Post, Access Restricted." Brenda sat at a folding table, a battered laptop and a cardboard registration box beside her, acting like she ran the Pentagon. Lena's anger simmered, but she stayed calm. She sent her evidence photos, notes, fake citations to her lawyer, Sarah Klein, a no-nonsense pro who saw the danger immediately. "This is criminal impersonation," Sarah warned. "Let the authorities handle it." Lena agreed, knowing Brenda's type thrived on chaos. She'd outlast her, not outshout her. But Brenda wasn't slowing down. One humid morning, as Lena headed to work, she braked hard. Concrete barriers now choked the driveway to a single lane, barely wide enough for her truck. A tattered table held clipboards, walkie-talkies, and forms stamped with a fake sheriff's badge. Brenda, sprawled in a creaking lawn chair, wore a toy badge pinned to her chest, gripping a cardboard security paddle. She raised a hand, demanding Lena stop. "Name and address!" she barked, waddling over. Lena kept her cool, her voice flat. "You know who I am, Brenda. We've met." Brenda didn't flinch. "Official checkpoint. No ID, no entry." Lena bit back a laugh, texted Sarah, and reversed home. Within minutes, 2 deputies arrived, led by Deputy Cole, a wiry veteran who didn't mess around. "Move these barriers," he ordered Brenda. "You're blocking private property and impersonating law enforcement." Brenda puffed up, ranting about her Community Protection Committee. Cole shut her down. "No such thing exists. Move it, or you're under arrest." Grumbling, Brenda dragged the barriers aside, the deputies helping to clear the mess. Lena drove off without glancing back, but she knew this wasn't the end. The next evening, an envelope was taped to her door, her name scrawled in black marker. Inside, a notice of noncompliance accused her of endangering the neighborhood. The signatures' first names only were a joke, but the intent wasn't. Lena sealed it in an EVY Denke bag, called Sarah, and kept building her case. Brenda's checkpoint doubled in size, with fake cones and her husband and son both looking miserable station-like guards. She stopped delivery trucks, demanding invoices and IDs. Neighbors, fed up, started filing complaints, inspired by Lena's quiet defiance. But Brenda seemed untouchable, her checkpoint glowing under cheap solar lights, a mockery of real authority. Lena watched from her porch, coffee in hand, knowing Brenda's fantasy was cracking. People like her didn't bend, they broke. The breaking point came on a sweltering Monday. Lena, returning from a supply run, spotted Brenda's latest stunt, a paramilitary outpost with sandbags, stop signs, and a canopy tent. Brenda sat beneath it, radio in hand, flanked by her son and another reluctant recruit. A golf cart, draped in caution tape, mimicked an official vehicle. As Lena slowed, Brenda charged forward, clipboard raised, shouting for her to stop. Lena stayed calm, windows up, engine running. She hit record on her audio app Clean EVY Denke, no drama, and called Deputy Cole. When Brenda slammed her palm on the truck's hood, Lena backed up, keeping distance. Sirens wailed soon after. Deputies swarmed, dismantling the checkpoint with surgical precision. They confiscated Brenda's fake IDs and signs, cuffed her, and led her to a cruiser as she screamed about tyranny. Her recruits scattered, one vanishing into the woods. Lena watched, heart pounding, not with fear, but with fierce relief. Brenda was done, at least for now. The aftermath wasn't clean. Brenda, out on bail, switched to subtler harassment, fake deliveries of fertilizer, false utility calls, late-night loitering just beyond Lena's floodlights. Lena upgraded her security cameras, alarms, panic buttons, and hired a private investigator, Mia, who caught Brenda and a small group of followers skulking near her property. Sarah filed for restraining orders, and the sheriff upped patrols. The neighborhood grew tense, with anonymous letters and spray-painted boundary markers testing Lena's resolve. But she didn't crack. She documented every move, her EVY Denke a fortress Brenda couldn't breach. The final clash hit on a stormy Friday evening. Lena pulled into her driveway to find Brenda and 4 others blocking it with metal poles and chains, a sign reading, "Stop, authorized personnel only." Brenda, clutching a taped-up broom handle, looked unhinged. Her group, in reflective vests, held flashlights and clipboards, ready to trap Lena. She didn't flinch. Engine idling, she hit her emergency button, hands steady on the wheel. As Brenda shouted and a man approached, sirens cut through the dusk. Deputies, led by Cole, poured out, ordering everyone to drop their gear. Brenda ranted about citizens' arrests, but Cole arrested her for false imprisonment and conspiracy. Her crew fled or were cuffed, the barricade torn down. Lena handed over her dashcam footage, her calm unshaken. Rain washed away the chaos that night as Lena sat on her porch, coffee in hand, the world soft and hazy. Brenda's trial loomed, her charges piling up: obstruction, harassment, impersonation. The neighborhood exhaled, delivery trucks rolled freely, and kids played without fear. Lena stayed vigilant, her security tight, her resolve ironclad. She'd face down a tyrant, not with screams, but with patience and proof. As stars pierced the sky, Lena smiled, not triumphant, but steady. She'd carved her piece from case, and no one, not Brenda, not anyone, would take it from her again.